welcome everybody. Today we are in Ahoy, Rotterdam, where Premier Padel in the Netherlands is going to be played from 9 September to the 15th. So buy your tickets. And today we're going to do the most aggressive paddle tactics. And we're going to start right now.
Vamoos!
Okay.
Ah, lekker boelie!
And we have sales on justpaddle.com.
I like it.
You like it? Good match. Today we're going to discuss how you can win against your opponent by using their transition to win the point. We're going to move your players from defense to attack or from attack to defense and then win that point instantly or semi-instantly after they moved from backwards to forwards. Because if I lob you and you move backwards, I have a lot of space to do a lot of things. If you move forwards, I also have a lot of space to do something behind you. So today we're going to discuss how you can win the point after your opponent made a transition. And you need to do this if your volleys are great, if you're good at the net, if you like aggression, and I don't mean street fighting. This should be something for advanced paddle players, and only do this if your defense is a good level or that your defense is so weak, that you need to apply this tactic. If your opponent has a very good vibra and you might struggle and lose the point in the corner, you might need to go to the net and apply a different tactic. So if I played against a World Padel Tour player, I might do this because I rather volley their vibra than to defend in the corner with all that slice. So it's for multiple players, and let's start. Tactic number one is volley a overhead. And you do this especially on high lobs, which I would recommend. Because if you lob quite high, I am looking here and I don't know what's coming to the net. So that works really well. If you lob very high, my overhead bandeja is going to be a very safe shot. I cannot really go for a fast and aggressive shot. So then it's quite safe. This is the safest way to play aggressive, to play a very high lob. This works well outdoors as well because the ball is shaky with the wind, and then volley it. The most important thing in this tactic is that you need to position yourself close to the net and you need to be quite ready and to have very short blocking volleys. You don't need to go for long volleys, you need to be very quick. This can be done volleying the overhead in multiple variations. So variation one is you lob and they get a bandeja, you both go to the net. The parallel can go to the net, the cross court can go to the net. What I would not recommend is that the player cross courts goes to the net and the player straight is backwards. Then you leave a very big gap in the middle of the court and they can actually play behind the player that is running in. So what will be better is that you're both at the net or that the player cross courts his back and the player parallel is going towards the net. This is the best possible option. You need to apply this tactic if you want one player to have the ball more than the other one. So maybe my defense is super good and my partner's defense is not so good. I can ask him to go to the net because his volleys are amazing and I say let them play to me because I'm quite comfortable at the back of the court. So that's how you can kind of go in that situation. So if your shots of your opponents are working well, you don't need to think in how can I beat this same shot, so how can I turn better in the corner? You might think about how can I position myself so I don't have to turn in the corner. It's a way easier option sometimes. If you're volleying the bandeja or the vibra or the smash or the rouleau, it's important that you do this on lobs that are close, that your contact point is close to the service line. In this video you will see that their opponents are very close to the glass and then play the lob. They have to run too far and they're not ready to volley the ball. If the guys here are doing a lob from the service line, they don't have to move so much and they are ready at the net. They can drink a coffee and then play a nice volley and win the point. So it's quite important that you know where you are positioned on the court. If you play a super duper high lob, you can play it from everywhere, but sometimes a low lob works quite good because they have to run quite far backwards and they're not really into the smash. Tactic number two is volley lob on a low contact point volley of your opponent. That's a long sentence. If you see that your opponent is volleying the ball from lower than the net, they have to lift up the ball. So then it's quite easy to play the lob over them. So if you lure them forward, then it's quite easy to go over them. And in that way you can sometimes win with a lob. So if you play like a scoring or like a semi-high slicey lob, you can actually hurt your opponents a lot. So the lob in this instance can be quite dominant, can be quite aggressive, even though you might not think like aggression, but the positioning, what you do is quite aggressive. It's aggressive positioning. You are going to move forward after you see that the ball is low. To do this well, you need to play a very soft shot on the feet. You need to be close to the service line in order to play the shot, because you need to move 2 steps ahead. So if you play this softer shot, move 2 steps, you need to have time for that, so you need to play soft and then play the volley lob with slice, because then the ball dies. It works really well. You can also play this flat, but then it's not going to be, it's going to be even better with slice, but it has to be something that's natural for you. Tactic number 3 is an angle after the bandeja. So if the player is transitioning from forwards to backwards, they need to move back. And people are quite slow in transition. If you feel that somebody's slow in transition, this is where you get them. If you play a high lob, they play the bandeja, there's a lot of space. So with the lob, you can kind of open the entire court. I highly recommend to try this tactic, not to pass somebody with the lob, but to let them play the bandeja. If you play a high lob and they are forced to play this, and many people are not comfortable there, you can make them, you can kill them. It's so easy to do. I won so many matches using this tactic. Does not work in the high levels anymore because they're just too good here, but it works really, really well on good club level. So high lob, let them play the bandeja, and then play a short angle. So if you play a lob to the center, you can play to the same player to the fence. If you make them play a bandeja close to the glass, you can play a softball in the middle to the same player. If you play the lob straight, you can maybe pass them in the middle, or the partner of the other player is not positioned correctly, and then you can pass them. So if you play a good lob, you can open the entire court, and you can see multiple variations in this video how you can open the court and then play a good shot to win the point. Tactic number 4, and this is not going to be nice, but one soft, one hard. So if you play a soft ball on their feet and you need to make them move forwards and then stepping forwards, and then you play fast on them and they block, they might up losing the point and they get frustrated. It might not sound like the nicest tactic, but if they're close to the net, you need to play fast. You can win a lot of points. And this is not maybe the nicest tactic, but also it's their decision to stay at the net. So that's, if you have any argument, that's what you should say. You don't have to be at the net. So it's your decision, and if you're close, you can play fast. The most important thing is that you play very soft, so they need to move forwards. So you cannot do this if they're already close to the net, because then they kill you. So if your opponents are positioned far from the net, you can play the softer one. So they need to move, and then you play fast on them, or a lob or another one. So this works well if your opponents are positioned far from the net. So you need to make them move forwards, and then they need to block, or they need to run back again. So you can also do the lob one. You can use a variation with this, like the faster one to the body or to volley lob. So you can do multiple things, and because you kind of have 2 variations in the same kind of tactic, they don't know what to do, and they don't know how to respond to that. Tactic number 5, and that's counter the smash. So if you're good in trick shots, this is amazing, because if I'm smashing, I might be far from the net, and you can do the drop shot, I have to run forwards again. Or I play the smash, and you can do ping, and the ball is out. So this is also like a transitioning thing, because you go from defense to attack. So sometimes your opponent is playing a smash at the wrong moment, and what you can do is kind of play a short lob and not too short. But if you play it semi-short and you let them smash, you come forward and you win the point. So this works very well against players that smash too much and their smash is not amazing. So I highly recommend to try this, because it breaks the ego of the players, because they think their smash is amazing, and after that match they will say, yeah, my smash was not working so well today, and that's because of you.